Hi guys, it's Stacey here from Anxiety Go. Just a little short video because I've done a few, but this one I really must mention. It's about a fear that I've had for many years when I started having my anxiety and panic disorder, and also affected a lot of my travelling. I wouldn't go on long car journeys, I didn't really want to go on an aeroplane, I didn't really want to go on holiday. All these things really affected me to the point that I actually stopped going on holiday, which I really loved. So it was quite sad that my anxiety had overruled my actual life. But I managed to get my anxiety to a level that I was on medication, so it eased my anxiety and I went on holiday. So let's do that for a few years while I'm still on my medication, then come off my medication. I come off my medication because I was on holiday and I actually had a really bad panic attack on the plane. And I thought to myself, hey, if I'm having a panic attack on my medication, what's the point in being on it? There must be another way that I can learn and train myself and within my brain to overcome this without medication. And hey ho, there was, and I did. And I'm still going. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll still be able to carry on learning more and feeling my anxiety at a good level. So a couple years ago, we went back to a ski resort that we always go to, this particular ski resort. And when I first arranged to go on this ski holiday, the flight was an hour and a half, and I thought, hey, that's great. The transfer time was to their small little city airport that was 40 minutes from the ski resort, and I thought, bonus. Not a long drive, not a long journey. We come back from Monte Carlo one year, and we were skiing the same year, and we received a letter through the post, and it said that practically the airport that we were flying to no longer is taking those flights. And therefore we was transferred to another airport. The journey was going to be 3 hours transfer time. Well, you could imagine the way that I felt. I hated the fact that I had to transfer for 3 hours. This was why I picked this ski resort, because I didn't want to do the long transfer. So hey ho, you know, it had to be done. They did split it down into 2 hour-and-a-half transfers, and we stopped halfway, so that kind of was a lot better. And so I didn't think about it as much. On the way home, my biggest fear was being delayed at an airport, not knowing when I was going home or not knowing when I was going to reach my destination. It was that whole sitting around waiting, just felt like I was being stranded and I didn't actually have anywhere to go and what to do. So this time we're on the coach transfer going back to the airport, and it was really foggy. And the travel rep said, oh, don't worry guys, your flights are all still coming, and there's no need to any alarms, this, that and the other. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I can't even really see past the windshield with this fog and the way the weather was. I doubt any aeroplane is going to land at this airport in this. Well, we check in, we put all our luggage through, we go through to the waiting area. It's completely chock-a-block. The flights that were meant to come in before, they hadn't landed, they'd gone to another airport. It was only a really small airport, so there was a lot of people in this small space, which I thought, great, you know, my panic's gonna start. I'm in this confined space, I can't get out, I've got nowhere to go. But the reality was, when that situation happened, I was fine. And that was the weirdest thing ever. I was absolutely fine. I didn't have a panic attack. My anxiety levels were fine. And I was like, hey. So then I thought, well, I'm in a real situation. It's not a made up fight or flight response. It's a real situation. And I learned that when I got put in that real situation, I was fine. When my brain wanted to imagine these situations, it would imagine it worse and I would go into a full panic. So I kind of learned over time that all the stuff that's in my head is being made up to be 1,000 times worse than what it actually is. Because when I was in the real situation, I was fine. And lo and behold, we actually didn't end up flying from that airport. We had to recollect our luggage, Then we had to drive 3.5 hours to an airport in Germany. Then we had to go through the whole check-in again. And then we had to then board the plane about an hour and a half later. And then the flight was longer on the way home. So literally an hour and a half flight with a 3-hour transfer. And we was meant to be home by about 2:30 in the afternoon. We got home at 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. So with several more hours added on to our journey, I was absolutely fine. So I learned, and it might not be the same for all of you, but I learned in a real situation that fight or flight response, I don't run from it. I deal with it, and I deal with it quite good, really. But when my panic attacks happen and my mind escalates out of control and worries so much about a situation that's been invented in my head, so to speak, I then have that response of a panic and the whole system blows out of control. So yeah, it's kind of just really strange the way that the brain is so powerful, and the more it thinks about things and over-escalate things, the worse it can actually be. But when you get into the actual situation, it's absolutely fine. So I kind of learned that all this stuff that was in my head, that was going through all this bad, when the reality kicks in, I'm okay. So that happens with me. I don't know whether it's the same with you guys, but I've kind of learned that I must stop making situations in my head worse, because when it's reality, it's never as bad as what it's in my head when it's been sort of made up, I suppose, as such. So yeah, just try not to make things worse than what they already are, and just go with it and hope for the best, and I'm sure it will be okay. So yeah, keep going guys, be strong, and you really will get there.